Well, hi everyone. Hope you're all having a great weekend. It's early Saturday evening here at the homestead. You might hear some gunshots in the background. I thought we had somebody hunting, but sounds like they might be sighting in, getting ready into the season for deer is coming up here, I think mid-February, so people are getting their last hunts in. And getting ready to go out here and do evening chores, but taking a moment to make a little video for you all. It's been warmer today. I think our highs were somewhere in the 50s Fahrenheit, lows been in about the 20s. It's been changing up, and beginning of February looks like it's going to be warmer, highs in the 70s, and before we know it, hummingbirds will be back. Wanted to make a video and touch on a community post I made, I think it was yesterday, and talk about something interesting, share with you all. So as a heads up for sensitive content, going to be talking about tanning. I'm going to try to be not really as descriptive. You're not going to see anything, but I just wanted to let you know to listen in at your own discretion. Again, I'll try to be delicate with it. But, because I know we have a lot of different audience members here that watch, and just wanted to share, though, after making that post. So again, just listen in at your own discretion. So we were talking about a unique opportunity that presented itself a few days ago for something to pick up and tan. And if you've been a part of the channel for a while, you've heard this, and if you're newer, you haven't watched too much, we'll just explain this for you, and we'll try to make it quick. So, over the past years, we tan hides, and what we do is we go to our local processors. People hunt deer and they take it to get the meat processed, and a lot of other parts go to waste, including head, feet, legs, and hides. So it's been a long time since trapping. We don't trap, we haven't hunted deer. So it's not animals that we harvest ourselves. We just go and get what's normally going to be discarded. Most people aren't going to get mounts or, hide tanning or anything like that. So for the most part, it goes to waste. Puppy dog's howling. He's ready for his walk. So a lot of times that's just getting trashed. Nothing's getting done with it. It's going to waste. And I just felt like there could be more done with it. It could have a new life, a new purpose. So I get as much as I can manage and try to tan some hides each year, get legs and make stuff with them, a few heads maybe if they'll break down, and just get what I can manage for the time that I've got. And this year's been different. I haven't been able to actually get anything. I knew I wouldn't be able to get any hides. Tried to get legs, and I haven't heard back from anybody, so I haven't had any opportunities to this year. I've tried to connect with people that we've, met or kind of know that hunt, and most people take it to processors, so we can't get anything that way. Not sure what that was. But we haven't had any luck this year. But an opportunity presented itself a few days ago to tan something different. Not deer. Now, over the years, there's been some cool things that I have tanned. Mainly, talking about deer. I've had the opportunity twice to tan piebald deer hides. And that was amazing. They were beautiful. And other than that, I've tanned things like squirrel, rabbit, raccoon. I have tried to source before. We found, what was it? I think it was an otter that was found already deceased, but it was too far gone. I couldn't do anything with it. And so we were riding, doing some errands. I think it was Thursday. Yep, there they go. We were doing some errands and went a town over to check a thrift store. Got some traffic going over, I think. But as we were going to the other town, I saw something on the side of the road, and I thought, surely that can't be what I think it is. I'd never seen one. The only time I'd ever seen one in person was very, very young at the zoo. Had never seen one in person really wild. I hadn't seen them on the side of the road. They're very kind of relatively uncommon to find. You know, I hate to use the word roadkill because it just sounds so terrible, because it is. It's an unfortunate accident, but it was on the side of the road where somebody had hit it. I thought, surely that can't be what I think it is. But, you know, if it's still there on the way back, I'll look. Weather had been fairly cold enough. I thought, you know, maybe I'd have a chance with it. If it's what I think it is, then I'm going to get it and try to do something with it. I feel terrible that it was hit, and want to try to give it a new purpose. All these vehicles, goodness. Everybody's ready for the weekend. So that's going to be loud for just a second. Sorry here. I can't tell if that's like a car or like a little, oh, it's a little truck. So goodness gracious. So I thought, if it's still there, pardon all the noise, then I'll examine it and see if I can do anything with it. So we came back from the town over. It was still there, and I confirmed it's what I thought it was. I knew I had to go grab some bags and some gloves, so I ran to the store, grabbed it, and it was in a safe area where I could go over and check it out and possibly remove it without, you know, too much traffic. And so I went and got gloves and got the bags and pulled over, got turned around, and safely went over to it. And I knew, because of the way that the animal had died, I wanted to make sure, you know, I didn't see a lot of like flies, maggots, a lot of any kind of like protrusions where it had a lot of internal damage. And I said, well, even if the hide on it isn't that good and I can't save it, if it's green, maybe I can save the bones and do something with it. Now, when it comes to hides, they call an unprocessed one, you know, like straight off the animal, they call it green, but you don't want them to be green. You don't want them to smell really strong. It's gonna smell, but you don't want the hide color on the underside, the flesh side, to be that color. But even then, if the hide was starting to spoil, I thought maybe I could do something with the bones. So got over there safely, and I said, well, main extent of the damage looks like it had been on the head. There was one spot through the skin where the shoulder blade had came out, but not really major damage to the rest of it. And I said, well, I'm going to give this a chance. It looks like it's okay. I don't see a bunch of bugs. I don't see a lot of like anything coming out, really, to put it simply. So picked this up, brought it back. Now, because of the animal that it was, I knew I needed to call. So I called, I don't know if you say like Fish and Game, but I called basically the local warden's office and made sure to confirm with them. Even though it was a roadkill animal, it still has to be tagged. So I have a tag coming in. I called. They were sending it out that next morning. I've got the number and everything already. I made sure I wrote that down, and have all that coming in. So it's been filed, and made sure I had proof of everything just in case. So brought back and got started with trying to process it. And I was amazed because the animal was an adult male bobcat. It's so uncommon to really see them as roadkill or anything around here. Again, I hate to use that, but it's the only way I know how to kind of make it understood of how the animal was sourced off the roadside after being, you know, hit by a car at some point. Weather had been cool enough that everything was still really good. He probably got hit that night before, I would guess. And it was just such a weird area too, right outside of town. Like, it just seemed like not an area you would see one at. So it was pretty crazy. But got started with him and realized, okay, everything looked good. Hide is savable. We're going to have some holes. We're going to be missing some parts on here. You know, I wasn't able to save the head area, but I was able to get the hide and actually tan it. So it's in the solution right now, and have the tag. The tag will have to stay with the hide, which I plan to keep, and then we'll try to make some stuff out of the bones if we can, and see if we can give it a new purpose, even if it's just, you know, things that we keep just to give new purpose to the unfortunate loss of life. And it was very odd to have our homestead kitties and handle them every day, hold them, pet them, and then see this larger version of them. And it was just heartbreaking. It really was. And I had my gloves and everything on, being very careful through the process, but I just held his paw at one point and I just said, I'm sorry, I hate that this happened to you, but we're going to try to do what we can to give you a new purpose. And I was very humbled by it, very grateful, because you never know with something like that what the condition will be. And I was very, very fortunate. The hide was salvageable in other parts too, so we're going to try to break that down more. And just an interesting experience. I never thought that I would actually source something to tan and make stuff with off the side of the road, but it's a growing thing. A lot of people have started doing that. And it can be really tricky because there can be too much damage. It can be too warm. It can be a protected animal. So you have to, we've got more vehicles, goodness. You have to research your legality, talk to your wildlife officials, see if you need anything, if you can even pick up something like that, what kind of documentation, tags you might need, etc. So we wanted to make sure that we had all that down pat, and we do. We've got the tag. Again, we'll try to, once we get everything finished up with it, show you the hide and everything and show you the tag and share with you how it goes. But it was just an interesting opportunity, and I'm sharing this for a few reasons. One, to kind of elaborate on that community post so you all that might have been interested understood, what it was we found, which was a bobcat, which was pretty wild. Really nice. Other than his accident, he was, very, very good shape. He had a little bit of scarring under there where, he'd clearly gotten some scuffles over time. Otherwise, just, really healthy looking male. So it was unfortunate. Didn't see any kind of, I don't know if they radio call or any of them. We didn't see any kind of tracking or anything on him. Again, just everything else except for that damage was a really nice cat. We also, goodness gracious, people, again, going a different way. This time going very slow. And I'm not sure if they're stopping. Not sure what all the traffic is. Goodness. Anywho. Also sharing because there might be some of you that already tan. Maybe you tan something of your own, you go to the processors, and maybe you'll consider possibly looking into something that you found that's maybe been hit and giving it a new purpose. Maybe you've thought about tanning but never tried it, and this is your sign to get into it. Whether it's something that you've harvested and encouraging you to be responsible with it and make more use of it, or whether it's, you're not a hunter, you're not a trapper, but maybe you know someone who does, or maybe you know a processor. You can always start that way. Start small and try to do something, a small piece of a deer hide. Take notes as you go. There he goes howling. Take notes as you go along. If you have any challenges, if something doesn't work out, write it down and try to troubleshoot it. And if you're not able to, maybe you don't have the resources or time, or maybe you're not physically able, but the concept of tanning and using this is of interest to you, well, then talk to somebody who might consider it or who has thought about it. Share with them how, it can be interesting. It can be a good, responsible thing to do to reduce waste and, again, give new purpose to an animal and with respect to them. Because, again, a harvested deer, I'm glad there's people that are getting them and using the meat, but I sure wish that they would learn to use more. And that's one thing about people that are processing themselves, if they can, is you have the opportunity to not only go through there from harvest to hand processing and doing things yourselves, but you have the ability to also do other parts of that and put other pieces to use as well. Again, you've got to really check into your legality on that, especially with chronic wasting disease. And also, again, any animals that need to be tagged, animals that maybe aren't legal to be possessed, things like that. But another thing about that is not only is it a good, responsible thing to do, tanning can also be a source of alternate income for you. Some people, it might even become a career for them, become a job. People that get into it and make crafts with the bones. Maybe you tan the hides and you make something with them. Maybe you know somebody that tans, you get them and make bags or something like that. And there's a lot of things you can do, and it can become not only just a hobby, but possibly, again, income. You sell on somewhere like Etsy or local craft shows. There's no telling. And we have a growing movement of a lot of people where it used to not be as popular, but a lot more people are getting into that, where they'll have, we've sold like deer leg bone wind chimes. We sell the leg bone needles. People that get jewelry that are resin casted with like teeth or bones. People that do taxidermy. There's some really cool taxidermy out there people have gotten into. Selling the hides, selling things made out of the hides. The possibilities are endless. You could do a lot with a harvested animal. So we share this not only to share how unique the opportunity was, again, very extremely humbled and grateful. I absolutely hate that such a beautiful animal, unfortunately, was hit like this, but we're going to try to give him essentially a new purpose, making something with what's left over. Now, again, with this, like deer processors and stuff like that, waste products, this on the side of the road, he wouldn't have really gone to waste. We wanted to just carry it forward and make something new, but he wouldn't have gone to waste. I do want to share also, don't discredit buzzards, vultures. A lot of people think they're ugly or they're nasty, but they play an important role in cleaning up things like this, preventing disease from spreading by, cleaning this up. There's a lot of other predators that probably would have sourced from that, but specifically our vulture friends. And some of them are just downright cute. That's just a personal opinion, but I think they have an important role in this natural world around us. And I think sometimes they're just cute as can be. We have black vultures and turkey vultures. Turkey vultures are the most common around where we're at. And when you see a group of them today, we saw a big field driving by. There was probably about 15 out there. We didn't see anything that they were eating on, but they were just out there in the sun. They were hopping around with their wings out, and they looked so silly watching them hop around and seeing them interact. And there's just something about them. I've just come to appreciate them a lot more over time. So again, just giving a new purpose to the bobcat, but he wouldn't have gone to waste thanks to our vulture friends. And, again, not only that, giving credit to our wild cleanup crew, but consider tanning if you never have. Share with somebody who might find it interesting. And again, just all around grateful for the opportunity. It is unfortunate that the bobcat had that accident happen, but very thankful to be able to try to give it a new purpose, and we'll share with you once everything gets finished. Again, the hides in the tanning solution, and we have to break down all the other parts, so that'll be a little bit later, and we'll share with you if we do end up putting anything on Etsy. Again, with this, made sure we called the warden's office. We had the tag coming in for him. I made sure that I asked, was I okay to go ahead and process everything? And they said yes. So we went ahead and got everything done. And we look forward to sharing more about it with you. But that is it for now. The sun's going down and it's time to get all our chores finished up before it gets colder again. And we look forward to sharing more with you. I know we haven't talked too much about the tanning and all that here lately because I haven't had too much to actually pick up or anything, but we've got some deer legs from last year I'm gonna do some stuff with. We'll make some wind chimes, make some needles. So we'll show you a little more about that. We hope you all, again, have a great weekend. We thank you so much for watching with us. And as always, till the next video or live stream, take care, everybody.